Today is Monday, February 13, 2023. I'm Pastor Michael, and this is Wilderness Wanderings. Our text is from Deuteronomy 1. Here is what I commanded your judges at that time, said Moses. I said, listen to your people's cases when they argue with one another. Judge them fairly. It doesn't matter whether the case is between two Israelites or between an Israelite and an outsider living among you. When you judge them, treat everyone the same. Listen to those who are important and those who are not. Don't be afraid of anyone. God is the highest judge. Bring any case that is too hard for you. I'll listen to it. At that time, I told you everything you should do. That's Deuteronomy 1, verses 16 to 18. In creating a leadership structure for his people, God established an important principle that runs through the Bible. Good laws are not sufficient. Good laws need good people to administer them. Good leaders possess wisdom, understanding, and a good public reputation. These good people are given 4 principles to govern their decision-making. 1, they must look for what is right, determining who is the innocent and the guilty party. The word fairly in our translation is a little weak. The Hebrew says, judge the right. The primary duty of judges is to discover where right lies and to judge accordingly. They must have the wisdom to distinguish truth from falsehood. Not always easy. 2, they are not to show partiality. All humans are equal, and we all deserve equal standing before the law. 2 specific examples are given. The Israelite is not to be favored over the outsider, nor the important over the unimportant. The equal status of the outsider is a distinctive feature of Israel's law. These outsiders were landless folks from non-Israelite nations. Being landless and without family, they were vulnerable to exploitation and oppression. The reference to the outsider and the unimportant evokes memories of Israel's status in Egypt. The Egyptians treated the Israelites horribly. Israel was not to imitate Egypt, but the Lord their God, who rescued them from oppression. The land of promise is God's gift to Israel, meant to be shared. As such, the small, the weak, the poor get the same fair hearing as the rich and powerful. They are to be treated as God treated Israel. 3, the judges were not to be afraid of any person, because in exercising justice they were doing the work of God himself. Judicial activity has an elevated status in Israel, and the law has a transcendent value. It may be administered by humans, but it possesses an authority above them. Behind the law stands a God who loves and requires and gives justice. Judges should not let fear of the powerful or wealthy compromise their insistence on the right, issuing judgments that bring shalom to the community. A frightened judge can never deal justly, nor is there any place to turn for justice when the court is intimidated. The earthly judge rules on God's behalf, who will hold all parties, including the judge, accountable. 4, humility. Judges must be able to admit when cases are too difficult for them and pass them along to Moses. This will require constant inner probing. It is easy for those in authority to delude themselves into believing they have all the answers. The truth is rarely easy to discern. It takes great humility, which must be constantly nurtured, to be able to say, in this case, I don't know. The early church modeled itself on the Deuteronomic pattern of leadership, which is portrayed here. When she experienced similar rapid growth under God's blessing, there were disputes and organizational stresses. These were met by a response similar in nature, care of Acts 6, verses 1 through 7. God does not drop good leaders out of the sky. They are nurtured within the community of faith. Are you developing the qualities for good leadership? Are you encouraging those around you to do so? Even though leaders are held to a higher standard, it is good to inspire to this role. Care of 1 Timothy 3, verse 1. As you journey on, go with the blessing of God. May the peace of the Lord Christ go with you, wherever he may send you. May he guide you through the wilderness, protect you through the storm. May he bring you home rejoicing at the wonders he has shown you. May he bring you home rejoicing once again into our doors.